Welcome to Mirror Domains, and this is a Sunday stream. Yes, this is a Sunday stream where we're going to be talking about Transformers 7, Transformers Rise of the Beasts. We'll take a look at what it's been doing for box office wise. Is it coming in at $100 million? Not so much, but it's not a bad thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. We'll get to it. Guys, normally we do our movie news shows on Monday to Friday, but I was supposed to go into Toronto today, but I realized that some issues came up and I didn't have to go. So I'm sitting here on my hands. I thought I would turn on the camera on a Sunday and take a Sunday stream voyage with you guys. So let's just take a look at some of the early numbers that are coming in for the Transformers Rise of the Beasts. And then later on, I'll do my full review, which I didn't set up my poster for. We'll do that when we get to that part. Transformers Rise of the Beasts beats Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse with 60.5 million box office opening. Now that's a little bit lower than I was hoping. I was hoping for about 70 million, actually, to tell you the truth. Starring Anthony Ramos and Dominique Fishback. Okay, so, guys, I went out and I saw this, and I actually had lots of fun with it. I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. Do I agree with the criticisms that, it should be still more about the Transformers? The weakest part of this film was... why is that coming up? The weakest part of this film was the human parts. And as good as Anthony Ramos was in this, the Dominique Fishback stuff was kind of like, yeah, cringe. Once again, the human part of this film is the weakest part. And for some reason, I agree with a lot of the executives out there, with a lot of the common criticism that the executives, for some reason, want to shoehorn in a human story, otherwise, because they're under the old belief that if there's not a human in there, then people can't relate to it. Which blows my mind. It blows my mind, because you don't look at things like The Little Mermaid or animated films and you're like, well, they're cartoons, so we need to insert a human in there so people can relate to it. No, you don't. Not when it's a cartoon. So why should it be any different for the Transformers? Like, the main characters should be Optimus Prime, should be Mirage. It was Bumblebee partially in the last one, but this one was good. Anyway, I'm digressing, and I should save that for my review, actually, because those are some good thoughts. But the 60 million, yeah, with the budget. Again, this is one of those things where it's got like a high budget. What the heck is going on here? Why are you saying favorite Transformers? Like, for God's sakes, man. Chrome, it's letting me down, man. And I'm thinking I'm going to have to migrate over to a... actually, I think I'm going to have to... either Firefox... What's that other one that starts with an O? I was thinking maybe Firefox. Yeah, I don't know, because this Chrome thing is really starting to irk me a lot with the stalling of pages and setting my YouTube settings. Like, I've set my YouTube settings to 1080p, and then every time I launch a video, it goes down to like 360. And I'm like, why? I'm trying to watch this video, and every video I gotta change it back up to the higher setting. It's starting to get frustrating. And if it happens on another one, I don't understand it. Stop messing. If it's not broken, don't fix it. For crying out loud. I'm digressing. Hey, it's raw. That's what happens on these rare Sunday streams. I don't quite have all my show notes together and as collected as they normally should be. But that's just it, right? Transformers. Let's take a look at Rise of the Beasts budget. And we'll be looking at the box office tomorrow anyway. We'll be going over a lot of this stuff tomorrow on the Monday show when we do the box office report. These are just early numbers. So a budget of $200 million. $60 million opening. Luckily, the international market for Transformers is going to save it. Because remember, it opened for 60 million domestically. Those numbers are not going to go up. It's not as if next week it's going to be 70 million. Next week it's going to be more like 30 million maybe. Because it's going to have Flash. We're going up against Flash, and we are going up against Elemental, which I think Elemental's going to get buried. Elemental, not hearing good things. Anyway, 60.5 million. But internationally, I think internationally it did better. 170 million. So 110 million globally. So for a full worldwide total of 170.5 million for Transformers on a $200 million budget. It's doing better than Little Mermaid, at least, and Fast X. Box Office Mojo has yet to put up the report for today. People have been farming it from that in 9th to 11th there. But guys, I went on and saw it, and I enjoyed the Transformers film. I did. It's not perfect. Could be cut. A lot in the beginning could be cut, but we'll talk about that in my review. So we'll set up for that here. We'll make sure that I got all these feeds here properly. Yeah. Byford the Hobbit says, hey, on the live chat, Arglass says the human story worked in Bumblebee, and as the Transformers are on Earth, there has to be cause or effect for humans. No, yeah, but they could be just in the military response. Those like really cardboard characters of like the military response. That's about it. Like, do we need Spike, like the humans in there and stuff? I don't think so. Anyway, I'm just gonna make sure that my poster is all set up here. So, ooh, wow, looks like I don't have to adjust that. Bifer says there in the live chat, Tenoch Huerta accused. Yeah, I saw those headlines. My God, it's getting to the point now with Tenoch there that. They just got to do better vetting. And if you got a hint of anything like that in the background, in your background, you got to let the studios know, because people will be digging. Now, for certain situations where it's just accusations, you can't vet for that, because if you're clean, if you haven't done anything wrong, somebody can just accuse you, and let's just say you walked out of the trailer and you looked at them, and then they can use that, right? It's kind of like, yeah, but I didn't do anything. So why are you accusing me of something that I didn't do? It's moronic. Anyway, sorry, where was I? I was setting up for my Transformers review. That's right. So this will be cut out and posted up on the channel later on. Let's get into this. Transformers Rise of the Beast is out in theaters this weekend, guys, and did you go out and see it? This is my movie review for it. My initial thoughts coming out of the theater was, wow, oh my God, I can't believe it. It has one of those scenes in it. Transformers Rise of the Beast is one of those things where it's got a scene in it where people will be like, you gotta check it out for this. And it's a huge spoiler. We'll talk about that at the end of this quick review. But other than that, I really like this film. I like the robot stuff in this. I agreed that the human stuff was meh, but let's go over and take a look at the IMDb page here. It was 2 hours and 7 minutes. The runtime, how did that runtime feel? It felt like it was a bit slow to get going. Trying to establish all the human characters and their backstories. But once it got into the Transformer stuff, I was like, wow, this is good. From the director, Stephen Caple Jr., who did Creed 2, I thought he did okay with this. I still think I would have cut out a lot of the human stuff, but the synopsis reads, during the 90s, a new faction of Transformers, the Maximals, joined the Autobots, so allies in the battle for Earth. Now, guys, it says this took place in the 90s, so I was kind of like anticipating a lot of really cool needle drops. Unfortunately, I grew up in the grunge era. I grew up with Metallica's Black Album in the 90s. I grew up with Alice in Chains, Nirvana, Pearl Jam. That's 90s to me. This was more hip-hop, rap, 90s music. So for me, the soundtrack was kind of like, do I even know that song? Some of them I did. Some of the songs I did know. I'm not totally blind to the music scene, but I'm just letting you know that. So I was sort of expecting to hear more of the rock influence, but it wasn't there. The standouts for me were Mirage, who was voiced by Pete Davidson. Really cool. I came out and I said, this movie should just be called Mirage. Like, you know how the last movie was called Bumblebee? This one should have just been called Mirage. Focus in on each one of these Autobots, have their stories, and then have them all come together, with the next one being like Optimus Prime. Because they talked about stuff in this where it's kind of like they're questioning his leadership style and stuff like that. That's Scourge, that's the bad guy. But if you focus in on Prime, you deal with like his challenges as a leader for the next one. That's like, he should be the main character. I totally agree with that stuff. Stop with the human stuff. I know what you're trying to do, but you're just so misguided. The drama that goes on there between the Autobots and the Decepticons, that's enough to carry the movie. It totally is. And Peter Dinklage as Scourge, like, he was just so like unrecognizable. He just dove into it, like, and it was good. I thought Scourge was good. It had so many cool like shots in there with Optimus Prime fighting side by side when they're running towards the bad guys at the end. It was just so awesome. RC also was very fantastic. I do want that hot toy of RC. I someday want to put that on my desk. I thought it was very awesome. And then we got a whole bunch of other characters that I don't know who those were. They were just the henchmen of the bad guys. But the main characters, like the human characters, they tried to put in some stuff there with like the family dynamic. So his little brother's got some health issues and stuff like that. But Anthony Ramos, he won me over by the end of the movie. He did. And I like some of the questions of like, okay, we can destroy this thing, but the Autobots will never get back home. Like, I wish they would have ramped that stuff up a little bit more instead of trying to establish them as like somebody who's having trouble finding work and stuff like that, and fighting against the the powers that be, and like the troubles of getting work and stuff. I didn't need all of that stuff in my Transformers movie. I needed more Transformers, and Pete Davidson delivered for me. So I enjoyed it for that aspect. As I said, all that stuff was in the beginning. It's a bit long, but Unicron in this was the bad guy, and they handled him extremely well. And I know what they're doing. They're building him up to be like the big bad guy, like Thanos was in the MCU. And that's exactly what Unicron should be, because it's going to tie into the other movies that will be coming down the works. I just hope, for crying out loud, studio executives, please let the Transformers be the main characters. It'll be fine. It'll be fine if you do. We don't need to have a human character in there for us to relate to, because, as I said earlier, there's animated cartoons that came out years and decades ago, and you didn't see a human character in that had to be like relatable, like this kind of thing. With like cats and stuff like that. And I'm just saying that the Transformers and the drama that's there, like I love that stuff between Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal, where it's kind of like, you're not the Prime that I thought I expected to see and stuff like that. And there was some damage there that Optimus Prime had. I wanted to go in and see. I wanted more of that, not a museum worker who's an intern who's like trying to find her way up the ladder. I don't need that. I don't need that. Let's go over and see what people are saying about it on the tomato meter. 53% by critics, 91% by the audience. And yeah, this is going to be one of those movies just like Fast X, where it's just kind of like the critics will give it lower, but the people coming out of the theater are kind of like, yeah, man, that last scene too. We'll talk about that in a moment. But that last scene and that reveal was just kind of like, wow. I want to see more of that. It had only one sort of mid-credit scene. It didn't have anything at the very end, at least on the viewing that I did. I, for a brief second, thought they were going to have like one really post-credit scene. But other than that, it just had like one minor mid-credit scene. So 53% by the critics. Let's see. They'll be just there. I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to just try to surmise that they'll say that it's just big CGI schlock fest. Doesn't have good pacing or stuff like that. Let's see what they said in their snapshot reviews. See if we agree with them. Okay. New York Magazine says it's not spectacular enough to impress us, nor intimate enough to move us. It's just kind of there, ready to be consumed and forgotten. Forgotten. There are parts of this that could be forgettable. Yeah, as I said, the stuff with the museum stuff, whatever. Yeah. Another one from Wall Street Journal. Even with its abundance of action, the franchise's newest edition boasts little life of heart compared with its predecessors. As I said, the heart was trying to be like that brotherly dynamic between the human characters, but when it's kind of like one of them's not there and goes off on a road trip without notifying them, it's kind of like, well, who's taking care of that guy back home? Oh, we're not supposed to care. It's one of those kinds of things, right? So somebody who liked it from the Rolling Stone said, beasts encourage you to let your eyes glaze over through the plot exposition, and embrace the visceral nonsense. I wouldn't say that it's nonsense. Beasts is dumber than a box of hammers, but it doesn't drip with the rote criticism of, say, Fast X. And that's from somebody who liked it? My God, man. Seattle's Child says we may lose regard for the gravitas of the film's premise, and we may know exactly where the film is headed, but it doesn't keep Rise of the Beasts from rising above and delivering a clean, fun monster romping good time. So, yeah, I kind of agree with that one. That one was pretty good. That's typical fare. As I said, guys, they gotta get rid of the human aspect of it, and it'll find its niche eventually. Obviously, I'm not going to rank it as low as a 5 out of 10, but I'm not going to rank it as a 9 out of 10. You guys know that I'm fairly measured when it comes to this kind of stuff. Acting was serviceable. The voice acting was the best part of this thing, which is, hey, if you're going to bring in people like Michelle Yeoh, Peter Dinklage, use them. And the scenes that they were in was phenomenal. Like, I like that stuff. I just make them the main characters, please. They're still not getting that memo through for some reason. Let me cogitate about this right now. Off the mark, I would probably say 7, but I might move that up here. Let me pull up a poll that's up on Joe Blow right now, ranking your favorite Transformers movie. And this is just the live action ones, right? This is the live action ones. This is not the animated one they're including in this poll. Let's see. What would I give in here? Well, I did like Bumblebee. Bumblebee was good, and it's still my favorite because of Haley Steinfeld, right? And then Rise of the Beast would be the second one, and the first Transformers movie. Oh no, you do got the Transformers movie right here. Yeah, that's the best one. That's the best one. Then Bumblebee, then Rise of the Beasts, and then the 2007 one. That's what I would rank. Why is this page? this poll page is really messing me up. So Transformers 2007 is the number one, then Bumblebee, then the animated one. Wow. Well, only 93 votes. It's just a new poll, guys. That's up on Joe Blow. If you're curious about that and you want to participate in that vote, go over and vote. What's the lowest one? What's the one that really sucked? The Last Night. Revenge of the Fallen was terrible too. The Revenge of the Fallen one is the worst for me. Yeah, that one is going to be my least favorite Transformers because you made Megatron bow down to somebody called the Fallen. What? No, he would never do that. Megatron would. No one tells Megatron what to do. Yeah. So, some fun things out here, guys. What do you guys think about this score for Transformers? As I said, I was leaning towards 7, but I think, oddly enough, I'm going to give Transformers Rise of the Beasts a 7.5 out of 10. Because I would watch that last act over and over and over again. You got to deliver more of that, man. You can deliver like an hour and 40-minute Transformers movie that's all about robots. You can do that, guys. You can do that. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine if you do that. And people will come out heralding it as one of the best Transformers movies ever. Because it is. It would be all about the Transformers. A Transformers movie all about the Transformers. How odd would that be? Yeah. But Pete Davidson, standout. Mirage, he was really cool in this. I thought they would go with the Goldbug storyline with the Bumblebee, but I was happy that they acknowledged the Haley Steinfeld version of Bumblebee. So I'm glad that they acknowledged that. So those two, I don't know what the time continuum is going to be like going forward. Are they just going to erase all the Bayverse movies? I would prefer if they just did that, bring in Megatron in the next one, and still have like Unicron be that big menace. I think it's going in a different direction now, where it's kind of like we're watching that stink off from the Bayverse movies, and that's a good sign in my book. So 7.5 out of 10 for Transformers Rise of the Beast. Fun time at the movies, guys. What did you think? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. You're watching Mirror Domains. All right, let's talk about that post-credit. Well, it's not actually. It wasn't post-credit scene. It was right at the last. It was the last shot of the movie. It was the last sequence of the movie, and I didn't clue into it while it was happening. I didn't. Anthony Ramos, Noah Diaz, who as an actor, as I said, he won me over by the end, but he was ex-military, trying to find work. And I didn't clue into it until the end that when he was getting recruited into this new position that he was going for an interview for, and the wall peels away, and it's like, if you're interested, come call us. And it's like, he turns the card over and it says G.I. Joe. I was like, because there was a comic book run with I did have one of the issues where it was like Transformers and G.I. Joe. I think it had like Omega Supreme on the cover of it, the one that I had. So like drive it towards that, guys. Drive it towards that. The G.I. Joe Transformers mashup with Unicron being the big bad guy that comes in at the end. Have it like that, like Thanos. You can do this. You can do this. But the next Transformers movie has to be all about the Transformers. Bring it, like you can do that. And they should be tied together because it is fantastical. So hopefully G.I. Joe, I don't know what character he would be, but it just made sense to me afterwards. Like, yeah, he was ex-military. He's getting recruited into this stuff. And he was even wearing like that mech suit, right? I just thought they was paying like a homage to Spike from the cartoon and stuff like that with his exosuit or whatever. But that was vaguely familiar to some of the exosuits that the G.I. Joe had in the first couple of G.I. Joe movies, right? Like that kind of thing. Taking it a little bit of a different route, but I thought that was like one of the huge highlights of the film for me. So yeah, there we go. Let's take some live comments now, and we'll wrap this thing up. Whoops. All Arglass says, cool review. I'll watch Transformers midweek, seeing The Flash on Wednesday too. Oh, yeah, Flash. Flash opens up this week, so we'll be talking about that as well. There are a lot of toy franchises I'd love to see adapted to movies like Thundercats and Mask Toys. Yeah, people have been wanting Thundercats for a long time. The problem with Thundercats is that after the movie Cats came out, I am not so sure, and people's strong rebukes or disdain, prejudice to furries. I don't think seeing like a full-figured man that looks like a cat is going to be something that will win over the dollars. It's got too much of a negative image. Well, that's just my perception of the case. Okay, guys, as I said, it's a Sunday stream, so sorry, I just thought of something was floating in my tea. We're doing it a little bit raw, like we did on Friday. So we got some other movie news topics that I thought we would just go through, just glance over because I pulled some. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse came in second place on the weekend box office. Did you guys go out and see this? I saw this headline earlier in the week too, that apparently Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse had some audio issues. But I hear that the audio issues are are going to be fixed now. Why the heck is that doing that? Oh, that's Mickey. Yeah, that's like, what was it? The audio was out of sync. Sony apparently has resolved Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse audio issues that viewers had experienced. Have reported all prints have been updated. Chrome, you keep doing this, and I'm bailing. You keep on pausing because of what updates? Sorry, that's just my Taylor. Whoops. Yeah, I guess you guys didn't need to see that. I'm just checking my Chrome. Chrome says it's up to date. Huh. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has reported some audio issues. Guys, have you gone out to see this in the theaters yet? Did you have some audio issues? What were they reporting were the issues? Apparently it's all done now. It's all it's been fixed. But Stacey narrating her backstory while drumming seemed especially low. So viewers had noted that audio levels in the movie's introduction, again with the mixing of stuff, I do not know, and I'll never understand why movie audio mixers, because I'm guessing they listen to this headsets when they're mixing audio. You got to be in the theater, and you got to verify it in the theatrical setting where can you hear certain things. And for some reason, they boost everything else in the background, and it's like voice quality is really low. I'll never understand that. It's like you can barely hear them. Remember the reports of Tenet from Christopher Nolan saying that you couldn't understand what the characters were saying because like the boom, the ambiance noise. The ambient noise was just too high and you couldn't understand them. It's because they're too concerned with trying to, I'm trying to make the ambient noise be like immersive. But apparently, Spider-Man issues, those are resolved. What do you guys think? Did you have any issues like that with Spider-Verse? I still haven't seen it yet because my niece is kind of like, I'm not yet. So I may not end up seeing Spider-Verse. I'll have to sneak in on a cheap Tuesday. Or on, well, actually, I'll have to do it on the weekends now. But things are going along nicely, guys. Things are going to be fine. I thought that I wouldn't be able to do live streams. But it looks like, hey, we did our first week with me going off in the afternoons. And we did that fine. And we watched even a movie. I'm gonna have to post a poll for which movie we're gonna watch this week. For you guys want to do an action movie this week, or do you want me to do a Grumpy Man reacts? I wanted to do Grumpy Man every couple of weeks, so maybe we might pick up an action flick. Is there anything new out on Netflix? Oh, excuse me. Let me just log into my Netflix here and see if there's anything. Dune. Dune's out. Dune Part 1.
Welcome to Arrakis. You're the Imperial Ecologist.
Dune Part 1. And I do want to do Dune before the second part comes out.
Welcome to Arrakis.
2.5 hours though. That's a bit long for me because if we did Dune, we would have to do it. We would have to start it at like 8:30 in the morning. We could do Extraction 2. Well, yeah, when does Extraction 2 come out?
Cinco.
Let me just see. Extraction 2 comes out on the 16th, right? I was thinking we'll be doing Extraction 2 on Friday. So there'll be no movie news this Friday. Because we'll be doing Extraction 2 in the morning, 10 a.m. So whenever we do movies, we won't be doing, coming this week, Extraction 2. Really looking forward to that. Chris Hemsworth, some action. Just give me a runtime here. It won't be it won't be like 2.5 hours. But we'll set that up. Skull Island, Age of Heroes.
Okay, Mr. Adam.
Wait, Dungeons and Dragons is coming? July 2nd. Cool. I had lots of fun with Dungeons and Dragons at the theater. I did.
Must have found the new den. Did he eat the last one?
We could maybe watch the first Spider-Verse movie, since I haven't seen it. Maybe. Great possibilities out there. Okay. I'm just refreshing my box office mojo to see if it's up there yet. No, not yet. All right. Back into the movie news stuff. Mickey 17 is coming out next year or soon. I don't know. Robert Pattinson fans, unite. Let's talk about Mickey 17 with Bong Joon-ho. Bong Joon-ho, the guy who directed Parasite, is going to be doing Mickey 17 with Robert Pattinson, and they had some test screenings. Apparently, these test screenings went well. It's generated some positive buzz. One reaction claims it's a clever political film with aspects of Korean director's signature style. Robert Pattinson gives an unhinged performance in twin roles, while Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette provide fantastic supporting roles. Yes, Mickey 17. It's kind of like guys, if you've ever seen that movie called Moon, it's a bit like that, where Robert Pattinson plays like, they say twins, but I think it's clone. He's a clone. He's like a caretaker of this facility. And that's why it's like Mickey 17, like he's the 17th clone, just like Moon. I think he discovers his awareness or something like that, and that he's just a worker bee and he wants more, something like that. Stephen Wen is in this, cool. Mark Ruffalo, Toni Collette, Naomi Aki. That name sounds familiar for some reason. Let's pull up her resume. But Bong Joon-ho did Parasite. Expected March 29th, 2024. So they've done some test screening for this. I know that Robert Pattinson fans will be clamoring for this kind of stuff. Like, his fandom is wide. So Naomi Aki, what was she in? She played with Whitney Houston. Okay, yeah, that's it. And I Want to Dance with Somebody. Okay. Then she's going to be in this Mickey 17. But apparently, first test screenings went pretty well. Still more than just under 10 months away. So there are going to be some retooling for that. I'm very curious about it. Very curious. What do they plot under wraps? Well, I kind of told you what it's sort of about, right? Maybe even I kind of spoiled that a little bit for some people who wanted to wait to go into it fresh. But hey, those are the breaks. You're watching a movie news channel on a Sunday where we talk about movie news stuff. I'm hoping to find the same audience that does like to talk about this. Let's talk about Ghostbusters Afterlife 2. Poster teases chilly sequel. Thursday was Ghostbusters Day, and in celebration, Ghostbusters Afterlife 2 poster was out in a tweet. So that's it. Geez, James, I wonder why we didn't talk about this. Look at that. Oh, stop the press. Guys, we got a poster for Ghostbusters Afterlife 2. We got to talk about it. It's mind-blowing. It's meh. Oh, okay. All right. Actually, I had a lot of fun with the first Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I like how they paid respects to Harold Ramis at the end. But we know that this movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife 2, is going to go back to New York. They're going to use the old firehouse in it, and really, I think that's cool. That's the way that you should go. McKenna Grace is going to be back. Finn Wolfhard, Paul Rudd. Is Bill Murray going to be back in this? Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson is the one I want to see. Sigourney Weaver and Annie Potts are also going to be in this. Cool. Cool to see them back. Yeah. Cool, man. Well, poster not so much, just the news that hey, we're getting closer to that release date. When is the release date exactly? James, you should have pulled that up. Yeah, this is, as I said, this is a little bit more raw today. It's not like we're doing anything too much. December 20th, 2023. So we're still 6 months away, right? July, August, September, October, November, December, 6 months away. Yeah. So a trailer maybe in the, if they just got the poster, maybe in the next week or so. Maybe on the Flash we'll get a trailer for this. I hope so. Dan Aykroyd. Yeah. Annie Potts. Kumail Nanjiani was supposed to be in this? Huh. Pull up the old IMDb and see what the cast list says here. Patton Oswalt. Yeah. Kumail Nanjiani. Okay. Ernie Hudson. William Atherton. Really? He's coming out. He hasn't been. I haven't seen him in ages. He was the twit that was like the inspector who got the inspectors in to turn off the machine in the first movie. Everybody hated him. He was also the reporter in Die Hard that got his lights punched out by the wife. Yeah. Huh. Popularity is going down though. I was just thinking, they got some of the older cast back, but if they could get Rick Moranis back, that would be cool too. He was supposed to come out of retirement for that Honey, I Shrunk the Kids sequel or requel or something, but we haven't seen any news about that for like years. Rick Moranis. Top tier talent. Hopefully we'll see him back someday. Horror fans, let's talk about the new Leprechaun movie in the works at Lionsgate. Guys, are we ready for a Leprechaun reboot? Hey, as long as it's got Warwick Davis in it, I'm fine. Those other ones that were kind of like, what was it, Leprechaun in the Hood and Leprechaun in Space? No, those ones were, yeah, you need to reboot it and go back to the basics here. Now, I understand that the Leprechaun icon itself could be, well, frowned upon in some places. But I got no stake in this, honestly. As a humorous lark, I watched the Leprechaun movies. A lot of that had to do because I still think that Warwick Davis is kind of fun, but it was schlocky. kind of like Wishmaster type horror where some being comes along granting wishes and stuff like that, but the wishes aren't exactly what you want. That kind of thing. And as long as it doesn't go, what was it, Leprechaun Oranges, where they try to change the style of the way that Leprechaun looked. Yeah, get away from that. And move it towards a more sinister tone, perhaps. I don't know. Be curious to see how it goes. Syvlester Stallone says Arnold Schwarzenegger was superior. He had the body, he had the strength. So he's what? He's trying to be humble now all of a sudden. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, right? So I grew up with Arnold and Syvlester Stallone movies, Cobra, Rocky, Cliffhanger, Demolition Man, all great Syvlester Stallone movies. But what Stallone did different from Arnold just kept in his wheelhouse. Arnold kept it with the action, the sci-fi stuff. You rarely saw Arnold he tried his hand at comedy stuff, right? Like Twins and like stuff like that. But he didn't do overly dramatic stuff like Stallone did with Lockup and stuff like that. I feel like Stallone had a little bit more range than Arnold. I guess just a quote from them, and they had kind of like beefs with each other growing up through the 80s and 90s there, where it's like trying to one up each other with the movies, with the action. Stallone had Rambo, and Arnold had like Predator and Terminator and stuff like that. But from all accounts, I understand that they're friends, so that's good. It's just friendly jabs at each other and stuff now, right? I wouldn't call him superior though. They both had really good careers. The Arnold Netflix miniseries was a great watch. Our Glass says, was it? That was about like what his bodybuilding career going into transitioning into being an actor. Is that what that was about? We just watched Fubar on Netflix with Arnold. Oh no, I removed that poster. And Fubar was really good. So Arnold, bit of a resurgence with Fubar, which the other people who have seen Fubar said it was pretty good too. But yeah, there's a documentary kind of mini series about Arnold as well. But Stallone being a little bit humble there. Let's see what some of the comments here in this article said. It's true, Arnie was more impressive physically and had more charisma and better comedic timing. Sly, though, could act rings around him. Yeah, he can trap genuine emotional depth. Wow, those are some big testimonials. Yeah, people have got a lot of opinions about Arnold and Stallone, and that's why watching them in the Expendables movies was kind of cool, because while they were doing like dueling action pieces, you never saw them work together, and they had the opportunities to do an action film together. It was before the team up kind of things started to happen. But it was cool. At least we got a couple of Expendables movies with them in it, so I felt like that was cool. And there was another one that they did. Was it Lockup? Lockup was actually or not Lockup. Escape. What was it called? Escape something. Escape Plan. That's what it was. Escape Plan. That one was actually pretty good. I like that one. Where Stallone is like a professional escape artist. He gets locked up into this secret place, and Arnold's in there, and they have to work together to get out. I really enjoyed that one. 50 Cent was in that. Vincent D'Onofrio. Sam Neill was in that? Fascinating. Might have to watch that one again. Maybe we can find a copy of that. Is that on Netflix? Let me pull up my Netflix account. Escape Plan. Maybe we can watch that one together. Because that one was pretty good. As far as I remember, there wasn't any nudity. Oh, it is there. It is there. And I have watched it already.
Knowing the layout, understanding the routine, and help from outside already.
An hour and 15 minutes. Or sorry, 115 minutes. Yeah, we can watch Escape Room this week. Sam Neill was in this, huh? Who was he again? Oh, was he the doctor that helped get them out? Yeah, maybe we can watch Escape Room this week. Oh, he's in this too. Wow. What's his name again? He was in a lot of Guy Ritchie films. Let's take a look at his name. I'll Vinnie Jones. Yeah, that's it. Vinnie Jones is Drake. Cool. Yeah, maybe I'll post that up. We'll do that this week, either on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Maybe we'll do it. Depends on what the movie news is like. If it's slow on Tuesday, then we'll do Escape Plan, and then we'll go back to movie news on Wednesday. Yeah, that's cool. All right, back to, we just got a few more headlines and then we'll get out of here, guys. It's Sunday afternoon. People want to go out and watch the ball games, go to family barbecues, those kinds of things. It's odd because my YouTube analytics say that this is the most time that my audience is on. This is like the most time in all of the entire week when my audience is on. So you would think analytically that we would get a bunch of people into the live stream, but that's not the case. What I want to do, because this computer is so, I'm stretching it for everything that it's worth. When we get the new computers and stuff, I'll be able to do Skype calls with people, and I want to reach out to other channels. Like I want to reach out to a guy that does a horror movie and talks about a lot of horror news stuff. Looking to bridge the gaps like that. We'll be doing a lot of cool stuff when I get my new rig, which I'm really looking forward to. I am excited. I can't wait. And when the freezing stuff happens on the side, that won't happen anymore. It shouldn't, because we'll be streaming in 1080. The computer should be able to stream in 1040. The one that the computer that I'm going to be getting should be able to stream in 4K. We'll see. You know, I'm clever enough to stretch it for everything that is worth. I'll get every little bit of juice out of it from either my settings on my OBS or whatever. All right, so here's my timetable. Sunday. Many of my viewers are on. I guess most of them are on at 3 p.m. I gotta look at these a little bit more. My analytics. So it said many viewers are on Saturdays as well. This is constantly changing. So that's why you always got to take a look. And I want to update I posted a few new profile pictures, but I guess they didn't move it far enough back. I don't know. Because if I post it, it'll just be like my head. Most of my face, like the top of my head, will be like I don't know why when I try to post it, it doesn't pull it far enough back. We'll deal with that. All right, back to the movie news stuff. My bad. Heretic. Hugh Grant to star in A24 horror film from A Quiet Place writers. Hugh Grant in a horror film? Has he ever done a horror film? He's done abstract work. Death to 2020. Adam Driver versus dinosaur movies. What? Hugh Grant is in talks to star in Heretic from the writer and directing duo Scott Beck and Brian Woods. They did the Adam Driver 65 movie. 65 was a bit of a disappointment, man. We didn't have great success at the box office, but Beck and Woods aren't letting the disappointment slow them down. Again, failing upwards. Your movies didn't produce much, so let's give you another one. Don't understand that mentality. They're about to go into production. Well, I guess everybody has their downfalls, but you think you would want to come out of the gates just like a Nolan or Spielberg, who did smaller films and then built it up. They're about to go into production with a new horror movie called The Heretic. Okay, and Hugh Grant is going to star. All right, you got a log line in here or something? But apparently the story has something to do with two missionaries that attempt to convert a dangerous man. There's no word on who Grant will be playing in this, probably one of the missionaries. I don't think he would be playing the dangerous man. It would be cool if he did. Why are you saying that? Huh. It's cool to see him stretch as an actor and try out different genres while you're still working. See what you can do. Yeah. Hugh Grant going into the realm of horror. Fascinating. All right, what's next? Oh, yeah. This was like on Friday or something. Legend of Zelda, Luigi's Mansion, are more Nintendo movies are reportedly in the works. Well, this is a no-brainer. This should have happened a long time ago, guys. Well, it's the same with the Mario movie. That should have happened a long time ago. But because, Super Mario is going to be probably one of the, if not the number one box office earner of the year, I don't see any of these other summer movies making $1 billion. The tracking is just not there for it. Yeah, do Zelda animated. I would love to have seen Zelda live action. I think a lot of us would have liked to have seen a Zelda live action, but there's a medium there where you could eventually lead into some kind of big kind of tie-in cross universe event happening, the Nintendo verse or whatever they're calling about it. Do Zelda, do Link. I want to see Ganon or Ganondorf, whichever one you want to use. Hear the iconic music and everything like that. The thing about Zelda, if you did it animated, you could get away with having Link appear as different ages, right? As the younger Link and then the older one. You could get away with doing that. I guess you could do that with live action. There's nothing stopping you. But that's a no-brainer. And hopefully that doesn't take too long to get together. Hopefully somebody's been sitting on a script so that when the executives come, they'll be just kind of like, oh, you got something ready to go. Cool, I want to see it. They better not make Zelda into a comedy. Illumination needs to grow up with their stupid Minion movies. Yeah, I don't watch the Minion movies. I can't handle them. Jacob Tremblay, if it's live action, if he's 16, so he could grow into some role, a pretty terrific actor. Zelda needs to be live action. So there is some people out there voicing it to be live action. There's the sentiment that I said where I would have preferred Link to be, or Zelda to be live action. But if it was animated and it was good, just like the Mario movie was, it doesn't have to be a big, grandiose concept. They don't have to do Ocarina of Time or whatever. Just do a Zelda movie straight up simple, right? Him questing. That's the way I would roll. Keep our eye on that. As I said, there's not too much to talk about that. Keeping on with the horror, I should have put this next to the Hugh Grant one. Little Bites Share producing a new horror film. Share? Producing a horror movie? Huh. I don't know why they're showing Lords of Salem there. I know people like that Rob Zombie movie, but God, it was not what I was expecting. And The Lobster Baby, or whatever cut that you saw at the end. Anyway, I'm digressing. What am I talking about here? Cher is going to be doing a horror movie written and directed by Spider-One. Little Bite centers on Mindy, a young widow and mother who tries to protect her daughter Alice from a flesh-eating monster named Agwar. Mindy has been secretly sacrificing her own life by allowing the creature to feast on her body as she keeps Alice hidden away at her grandmother's house. What? That's weird. Mindy is secret, so there's an entity feeding on her body, and she's keeping her daughter away from her. That's weird, man. Sounds funky. So, Bono. Who worked on Bury the Bride as an executive producer. Bono, like from U2? What? Okay, so Mindy, Chris Fox is playing Mindy. She was in Bury the Bride. So she's playing the mother that's going to be slowly eaten by an entity? Fascinating. Okay. And the John Skarloff is Agwar, the entity that's eating her. Okay. All right. That's what he looks like. Fascinating. And Cher's producing this, huh? Producing, so some of her money's in there. Well, hey, stretch out. You know, you don't have to be limited to one genre. All right, guys. One final story, and then we'll wrap it up. 2 hours. Yeah, or sorry, 1 hour. Fast X Part 2. Vin Diesel teases the next entry with concept art and announces the release date. I think we already talked about that, right? April 4th, 2025. 2025. Oh, man. So they haven't even been, well, yeah, they haven't been shooting anything. And depending on when this writer's strike goes and comes, finishes up. This is the conceptual art. The captions on these photos simply say Part 2. So who is that? Is that supposed to be Charlize Theron's character? Why is she looking like she's wearing like a spacesuit kind of thing? Oh yeah, because they got out in the Arctic, right? That's where they were last when the... But they were going to go on the submarine. Is that supposed to be Letty? She gets on a helicopter there at the end? I don't know. Vin Diesel's post says April 4th, 2025 is less than 22 months away. I love how expressive and collaborative all the actors in our franchise feel coming into the World Saga. I don't really care about that, Vin. For all those who didn't know that Fast X was Part 1, just know Part 2 is going to be an effort from our Fast family and studios like you've never seen. Well, you said that about every movie that you've made. It's going to be like nothing that we've ever seen. And the crap fest that was number 9 really hurt number 10 box office, guys. So I don't want. I've ranted about that. I've ranted about the box office earnings of Fast 10. I was going to post a video. Oh, I was going to post a video about that earlier in the week, but I decided not to publish. Okay, so the box office numbers are out. We'll look at this a little bit more tomorrow. So yeah, Fast 10 is it's out of the box office now. Only in 4 weeks it's out. It's out of the top 5. Transformers. I wanted to pull up Little Mermaid. $652. So remember, those numbers are just not. It's not going to magically go up to $1 billion in the next couple of weeks. It's not going to do that, guys. So maybe if you're lucky, Fast 10, you're going to cap out around 800 million. If you're lucky. But it's been crawling over like last week, it just crawled over the 605 million worldwide on a $340+ million budget. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing how that's profitable. Little Mermaid over 414. We'll talk about this more tomorrow. We'll go into we'll look more analytically at that stuff. I just wanted to make sure that it's because Little Mermaid had a high budget too, like 200 million or something like that, 200 million plus, and it appears like it's just going to cross the barely making money, which is a bummer. It bums me out because it was a good movie. All right, that's all I got, guys. That's all I got in the can. So, I really haven't played my guitar at all this week. Let's pull this down too. Let's get some natural lighting here. Who cares if it's going to wash me out a little bit? I just thought I would jam. One of my things that I want to do eventually when we get going is I want to, when I do get the new computer, I'll be able to stream World of Warcraft. This computer that I currently have, if I turn all the graphic settings all the way down, I can just barely play World of Warcraft and have it not be choppy. So if I can just barely play it, I can't stream it because it's too much on the graphics card. But the new computer will be able to handle that. And we'll be doing that because it's the only time in the day that I'll be able to do it. Because when I come home later on in the day, it's like almost 11 o'clock at night now. I would rather go to sleep and get up in the morning to prepare the show for you guys instead of getting online and playing a game. But I'd rather play the game in the morning than do the movie news show with you guys. And I would like to do half an hour of me just practicing my guitar. And these are the things that I would like to do during the day. Actually, I saved a tab here for one of them that I wanted to take that I was thinking about buying. I can show you what the specs are. No, not that one. That's the cheapest one. Look, I've had the ones that I was looking at. I'm going to be augmenting. I was looking at one like this. That's got a RTX 3070 in it. Now, even if I get one this cheap, $1,500 is cheap. No, it's not. Even if I get one like that, I would boost up the RAM from 16 to 32. I'm not going to accept anything less than 32 gigs of RAM. Just helps things move a lot faster. 3070X is going to be like, that'll be fine for 1080 streaming. That'll be fine. And it'll be fine for 4K playing. I just don't know if it'll be able to stream 4K and play 4K at the same time. That's where I may stream through another computer. I don't know. But I like that's like the RTX 3070 is like a 5-year-old card. Like 5 years ago, guys. Like the 3080s are like 3 years ago. 3080s. And that 3080s do 4K just fine. The thing about it is that it's going to be eventually coming down to a this is the one that I would prefer to get. This one has the 32 gigs. This one has the 3080. But that's an extra $1,000, right? For an extra $1,000 for a computer that's 4 or 5 years old. The thing with the graphics card though is that over 4K, your eyes, yeah, it looks slick, it looks fine, but it's just not necessary. Like, do you, what is it, over 8K? Your computer screen, like your eyes just won't be able to tell the difference. Anything over 8K, your eyes just won't pick up the differences, right? So it's kind of like the graphics card's needs are eventually going to reach a ceiling where it's not valuable for them to keep on developing it, right? So hopefully when it reaches that ceiling, graphics cards and computers and stuff will start to get a little bit cheaper, right? That's the one I would prefer. It'll be just a decision, game time decision. As I said, kind of like Well, I can afford the $1,500 one now, and that'll be fine. It will be fine. That older one will be fine. Or I can save up another $1,000 and get one that'll be fine for a good 8 to 10 years. Yeah. Well, I'll just see how it all comes out. And I'm the kind of guy that I want to be able to pay at least 70% of it right up off the bat. I don't want to finance it. I hate financing. Minor 2, major 5, back to the D. No? Cool, man. Ooh, let's move that a little bit. No? You don't want to move a little bit? There we go. That's better. I guess I should take a look at the old messages just to make sure nobody's trying to get through. Okay. What was I going to do? Off timing because it's like dun 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 once I get that computer, I need an upgrade of this. I want to get a 12 string. Ah, yeah. Yeah. Had you watched any more videos watching Blackberry movie, James? No, I haven't. It's 23 degrees here in Sunday House, Ontario. It wasn't that hard. Wasn't that terrible outside. Because I went for my walk earlier because it was supposed to be raining, but it's not. Yeah, it says 21 degrees here, overcast. I don't know. All right. We'll have to see. I want to play something that sounds a little bit different, James. I don't know what I should play. Just losing. That's what happens. I get lost in it. All right. That's it for me. I've wasted enough time today. Okay, guys, enjoy the rest of your Sundays. Go out and have some barbecue. Watch a ball game. Who knows? And join us tomorrow. definitely at 11 a.m. for more movie news. We'll take a look at the box office a little bit more, with a little bit more scrutiny as we do there on Mondays. And enjoy the rest of your day. And hit that thumbs up button. Thanks for the 10-pound live chat badge there, Glass Vikings. Stay cool, and I'll see you next time on Mirror Domains.